Yo, what's up? On the heels of Luffy winning Best MC at the Crunchyroll Anime Awards, I just want to tell you guys my favorite part of Luffy as a character that I feel like is not talked about enough. Oda said in an SBS that the reason Luffy doesn't kill is because in his era, men live by their beliefs and risk their lives to defend them. Luffy shatters the beliefs of his enemies by defeating them. For them to suffer a defeat and to have their beliefs destroyed is as bad as death. Killing their bodies is beside the point. I feel that as a pirate, Luffy and his enemies care more about victory and defeat than they care about their lives. But I believe that there's another layer to this that makes it even more incredible for Luffy when he defeats an enemy and what he does afterwards. You see, from my perspective, Luffy doesn't just defeat his opponents and crush their dreams, he also takes the purest aspect of what made them a villain or what their dream was, and then he uses it and fulfills that himself. Just like with Arlong and Hody alike, they both became villains because of the racism towards the Fishman people. But Luffy didn't see it that way. He saw them as equals. He didn't like them because of what they were doing, and he crushed their ideals and made it possible for fishmen and human to see on equal footing. And that is why they have a seat at the reverie, and that is why people finally are working towards the equality between them. And Luffy is the branch because he has Jinbei on his crew. And it just shows that he was able to take the thing that made them the way they were and try to stop it for future generations. Even with Crocodile, who was trying to gun after an ancient weapon and was causing everyone in Alabasta trauma, he broke that in him to the point where when he actually gets free, he doesn't want to go after the ancient weapons again. He doesn't have that dream anymore. He remembers the first dream when he set out to become a pirate was to become the king of the pirates. And Luffy will fulfill that. He took his dream and shattered it and then showed him, hey, this was your original dream. It's still going to be me that does it, but it was your dream too. Anel is always a tricky one because he's one of the only ones that actually fulfilled the dream that he had to make it to the moon. But that wasn't the only one that he had. You see, Anel saw himself as a god, and the reason why he caused all this destruction was because he thought he was God. But you know who actually is a god? Luffy is the sun god. It makes so much sense. He took his dream of being a god, crushed it, and then fulfilled it. Now, Lucci is an interesting one because we obviously know that he is still active in the One Piece world. But is his dream the same? See, originally, he had dreams of absolute justice and being the person who gets to carry that out. But Luffy ruined that dream for him for a while, and he was on the run. Now, did he manage to crawl his way back to that power? But he is different now. He has become vicious justice. But what's really great about this is by the end of the series, when everything pans out, we will have absolute justice. It will be the justice that Luffy brings upon the world by bringing the celestial dragons down, tearing the red line down, and becoming Pirate King and dawning a new era in the One Piece world. So Lucci is very different, but not above being torn down by Luffy. Gecko Moria is an interesting one, considering he didn't really have any crazy aspirations because he actually had his dream already crushed by Kaido. But what he did was he had the ideals of never losing his crew again because he had already lost them. That's why he had a zombie crew, because he knew it didn't matter if they got crushed, he could always make more. But Luffy also suffered that same blow when he was in Sabaody, but he became strong and he became determined to keep his crew safe, unlike Moria, who became lazy, complacent, and just made a disposable crew. But Moria's dream was still to become Pirate King, and Luffy, one, crushed his dreams by completely destroying his zombie army, and on top of that, he's going to fulfill that dream of becoming Pirate King. Now, Doflamingo, he had dreams of becoming a celestial dragon, but when those did not pan out for him by going back to Marijois and not being able to become a celestial dragon again, he wanted to tear down the establishment. He wanted all of the celestial dragons to be torn from their place and brought back down to the regular Earth. And that is something that Luffy will do. He defeated him, he took his dream, and he will make it happen by the end of the series. But who knows if Doflamingo even has dreams anymore now that he's locked up and impelled down. So we can't really say if Doflamingo has found a different calling. Now, I understand that Luffy did not actually defeat Big Mom himself. He had Law and Kid do it. But he did defeat Katakuri. But what was Katakuri's dream? His dream was to be able to protect his family. Now, did he do that? Yes, he did. No one got outstandingly harmed or killed under Katakuri's watch. He was able to defend his dream, and that is why I believe that Katakuri coming back into the story will be so significant. But not just that, it's the fact that he will probably see Luffy as an ally coming soon. So that is my opinion on that. He did not crush Katakuri's dream, but he will be part of it in the near future. Also, Big Mom's dream is to have all races under one roof in a utopia of just harmony. Now, I think Luffy's doing that. With his grand fleet and all the people that back him in the end war, I believe that Big Mom will be there and she will finally see Katakuri and Luffy fighting together, as well as the rest of the Grand Fleet, the giants, that everyone will be there type moment. And Big Mom will finally see, like, this is the utopia that I sought after, and Luffy was the one, the sun god was the one to bring it to fruition. Now, I believe Kaido's dream is probably one of the most important as far as Luffy's development and the future of this goes. Not only are we seeing that Kaido's dream came true, he was defeated by Joy Boy, the one who he was waiting for. But not just that. He even has a dream of being part of a gigantic war, which he even states. He says, "Hurry up, Joker, prepare for the final battle. Let this dreary world be destroyed. Let's start the greatest war this planet has ever seen." And we know that Kaido himself wants to die in this war. He says death is what completes a person. And I think that that's so important and why he's not dead now. I think he's coming to the final war. And in that moment, he's going to see Joy Boy, the man who defeated him. And he's going to feel so fulfilled in that itself. But then he's going to put his life on the line and be part of this big war that is planned to happen, and he will finally pass knowing that he completed all of his dreams and Luffy is the one that made it all possible. Luffy puts people's dreams on his back and makes sure that they are either fulfilled and if they are wrong, destroyed and crushed, but also makes them his own and fulfills them in a way that only the sun god can. Now, this is spoilers, so if you're not caught up, please drop a like and a follow and come back later for this part. But Kizaru, his dream right now is just to make sure that Sentomaru, Bonnie, and Vegapunk are safe, even though he's had to do things that are contrary to that. But that is what he truly wants, and you can tell because every time something happens, he either closes his eyes or covers his face and stays down so he doesn't have to keep fighting. But he wants them to be safe more than anything, and Luffy is going to make that possible. Vegapunk will still live on through the other satellites, but his dream in this moment will come true. So that is why. I believe that Luffy is just such a GOAT MC because of all the ways that he manages to defeat his opponents, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, and manages to make their dreams come true. But let me know what you think in the comments.